As a scientist, when you're performing your experiment, the normal way you would work would be to record your data in a notebook at the same time that you're doing your experiment, and then later you would analyze your data, perhaps by doing some calculations in an Excel spreadsheet, and then finally you would type up the results of your experiment in a report that you can then share with the world. So in this course, you're going to be doing all of that eventually, but we're going to teach you how to do all of those things a few skills at a time. So every week, you'll learn some new lab skills, and then you'll do an experiment where you apply those skills. In the first few weeks, you'll learn the major skills you need for this course, and then it gets a bit easier. So in this first week, you'll learn how to take data, how to estimate uncertainties on your data, and how to propagate those uncertainties through an equation. Then, you'll start the acceleration on an incline experiment where you'll apply those skills. In the second week, you'll learn how to analyze data in an Excel spreadsheet, and how to analyze your results and write them up in a typed report. And then you'll apply those skills to finish your acceleration on an incline experiment. In the third week, you'll learn about graphing, and then you'll use that in your ideal spring experiment. And then we'll continue each week with you doing an experiment and writing it up, but also learning a few more skills and being responsible for filling in a few more details in your lab report based on what you've learned. Here's what I mean. So this is the Moodle page for our labs, and for every experiment that we're going to be doing this semester, there's one of these Click to Open sections that contains all the information you need. Now scrolling down, underneath this video that I've given you, showing you how to use the equipment, I always also give you the lab manual file, and also this template typed report, where you're going to type in all of your data and write up your analysis for it. So I'll click to open this up. And at the beginning of the semester, there's going to be a lot in this template typed report that's filled in for you. So for example, I've got this theory section, and it's all basically written up. So you should read this stuff, but you won't have to fill any of it in yet. However, there are always some things you do need to fill in. You'll notice that there's these gray boxes at various places in the template typed report. So wherever there's a gray box, that means you're expected to type something in there. And in fact, down here in the data section, there's a lot of stuff where you're going to need to type stuff in, because that's where you record the data you took as you were doing your experiment. So how do you fill things into these gray boxes? Well, all you ever need to do is click once and then just start typing. So again, if you want to type something into this gray box, you just click on it and begin typing. It fills in a different color just to make it easier for me to grade your work. Now, as I said, a lot of the stuff at the beginning of the semester will be filled in for you. So this theory section, for example. But as the weeks go by, you'll see that there's more and more stuff that you need to fill in yourself. So that's why it's a good idea to read over the stuff that's filled in for you already in the earlier weeks on these template reports, because in a few weeks, you'll be writing that stuff yourself. Now, whenever the time comes around for you to do something new, I'll always give you a short video that explains how you do that thing, such as, for example, typesetting an equation in your report. But after you've learned that skill, you'll be responsible for filling in those parts of your lab report going forward. Also, I want to warn you about one big change that comes later in the semester. So as I said, every week you're going to hand in to me one of these typed reports. You'll also hand in a spreadsheet, which you're going to learn about next week, and some weeks you'll also be handing in a graph. However, remember when I said a scientist records their raw data in a notebook while they're doing their experiment? In this course, here at the beginning of the semester, we're not doing that yet. Instead of writing all your data in a separate notebook, you'll start out writing all your data in your typed report, specifically down here in this data taking area. And by doing that, you'll learn how to record your data with informative labels, the symbols, the uncertainties, and the units, and with a full explanation of how you chose your uncertainties listed alongside your data. But despite the fact that we are going to be recording our data in the typed report, I will point out that recording your data only in an electronic form like this is actually not the correct way for a scientist to record their data. So later in this semester, you'll transition to the correct way of recording your data, which is to write your data by hand in a notebook. So later in the semester, you'll be doing that and handing in photographs of your notebook pages to me as a separate file alongside your typed report. And again, when it comes time for you to do this, I'll give you a video that teaches you how to do it. But for now, you're going to be recording your raw data inside your typed report, all as one document. So that's most of what I want to say in this video, but I'll note that I do have a separate video that explains how you can hand in your work to me electronically for grading through the Moodle webpage, in case that's something you're not familiar with yet.